إيدي بإيدك نحمي الأقصى، ترامب بيخسى لا يظلم الأمريكان.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from Group 2 will present about the conflict Israel attack on Palestine. So, I will introduce my team members. Firstly, Hurunin binti Aziz, the metric number 1213313. Next, Nur Fatisha Adidah binti Ghazali, the metric number 1213336. And last, myself, Nur Amani Balkis binti Muhammad Hadri, my metric number 1213342. So, let's move to the first part, which is introduction. The Israel-Palestine conflict has deep historical roots involving numerous wars, territorial dispute, and humanitarian crisis. The conflict can be traced back to the late 19th century, characterized by conflicting national aspirations. A significant escalation occurred on October 7, 2023, when Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel. This attack resulted in substantial casualties and led Israel to declare war. Next, the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948 intensified the conflict, facing resistance from neighboring Arab states. This period caused the displacement of many Palestinians, referred to as Al-Nakba or the catastrophe. Since 1948, various wars and uprisings have shaped the geopolitical landscape, leading to significant losses for both Israelis and Palestinians. The ongoing violence has worsened the humanitarian situation in Gaza, with military actions resulting in thousands of Palestinian casualties. Next, the assignment aims to explore the complex nature of the Israel-Palestine conflict. It will highlight key events leading to recent attacks, international responses, and implications for peace in the region. Understanding this conflict requires examining historical events and analyzing social-political dynamics that continue to fuel tensions between Israelis and Palestinians.
Next, we move to the literature review. First, the origins of the Israel-Palestinian conflict. The ongoing Israel-Palestinian conflict is characterized by complex regional dynamics and the persistent presence of Hamas, which, despite a reduction in its controls, remains a significant force. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's ambition for total victory over Hamas has ignited considerable debate regarding the feasibility of dismantling Hamas military and governance structures in Gaza while ensuring the safe returns of hostages. As humanitarian concerns such as famine and disease escalate in Gaza, the situation is further complicated by international relations involving Iran and other regional actors, making the conflict a challenge not only for Israel and Palestine, but also for the broader stability of the Middle East. The second is the factor of conflict Israel and Palestine. It is divided in three types. First is involvement of the United Nations in the peace process between the two countries. The United Nations has played a crucial yet challenging role in the Israel-Palestine conflict, attempting to mediate peace through various resolutions and calls for Israel to withdraw from occupied territories. Despite numerous UN resolutions aimed at addressing the conflict, Israel's non-compliance and the lack of imposed sanctions have hindered progress. The UN continues to advocate for diplomacy and negotiations as a means to bridge the divide between Israel and Palestine, believing that common ground can be achieved. However, the effectiveness of these efforts has been limited by insufficient support from Arab and European nations, as well as the parties' failure to adhere to UN policies, resulting in ongoing tensions and ineffective conflict resolution attempts. Second factor is political dynamics and religious significance of Jerusalem. The political dynamics surrounding Jerusalem are marked by extreme religious units in Israel, who view themselves as defenders of Jewish state, resisting concessions to Arabs. Conversely, Islamist factions in Palestine and the Muslim would call for the liberation of Holy Lands, often inciting violence against Israel. Misinformation from extremists amplifies this tension while worsening socio-economic conditions in Arab nations contribute to rising religious extremism among youth. This complex interplay of politics and religion complicates effort for peace and highlights Jerusalem's significance as both a spiritual and political battleground. The factors is territorial disputes. Numerous United Nations official and investigate bodies have declared that Israel's ongoing occupation of Palestinian territories is legally illegitimate and may constitute a war crime, particularly due to the expansion of Israel's settlement aimed at altering the area's ethnic composition. The Israel governance enforces a dual legal system that provides extensive rights to Jewish settlers while subjecting Palestinians to military governance, depriving them of basic rights under international law. Since October 7, violence from Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank has resulting in over 428 Palestinian deaths and thousands of injuries, alongside daily mass arrests and denial of medical assistance. As the impact of conflict Israel and Palestinian face is loss of life and human suffering. On 16 September 2024, 41,534 Palestinians have been killed with many injuries being life-altering, particularly among children in Gaza who are losing lives due to ongoing bombardment. The violence has also led to over 16,000 Palestinians being detained by Israel force, severely impacting families' socio-economic conditions and increasing their dependence on humanitarian aid. The psychological effects of this violence are profound, especially for children exposed to such instability and trauma. Second is food insecurity and malnourishment. The food insecurity crisis in Gaza is solved with approximately 96% of the population. On 20 August 2024, the World Health Organization reported 165 hospitalizations due to severe acute malnutrition, with 93% of children and 96% of pregnant and breastfeeding women consuming fewer food groups daily. The ongoing shortage has created an urgent need for nutritional support, significantly impacting maternal and child health. Current food assistance is inadequate, compounded by limited commercial goods and soaring price, leading to increased reliance of humanitarian aid and frequent mealskeeping among households. Lastly, the impact to the education. Education in Gaza facing a crisis with expert warning of a systematic dismantling of the Palestinian education system. Term scholars decide leaving 625,000 students without access to education. This situation is exacerbated by reports of Israel force using school for military purpose, leading to extensive damage to educational infrastructure. There is an urgent need for school reconstructions and psychological support for affected students and staff to address the significant loss of human capital and ensure future generations can pursue education.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Nur Fatisha Adida binti Ghazali. My number matric 1213336. So I will continue discussion conflict about Israel attack on Palestine. So we focus 3 points about military response, humanitarian impact and international reaction. Okay, firstly, military response. The recent conflict between Israel and Hamas escalated on 7 October 2023 when Hamas launched a surprise attack resulting in over 1,200 Israeli deaths and numerous hostages taken. In retaliation, Israel initiated a comprehensive military campaign against Hamas in Gaza, leading to significant casualties, which estimates of over 43,000 deaths in Gaza. Next, political ideology significantly influenced opinions on the military response. About 52 on those on the political right believe the response was efficient, while only 9% on the left share this view. Conversely, a majority of left-leaning individuals, 55%, feel the military action have gone too far. Okay, last point, Dr. Salman Al-Dayah issued a fatwa criticizing Hamas actions as inconsistent with Islamic principle governing jihad, asserting the October 7 attack did not meet the criteria for jihad and resulted in unnecessary loss of life. So, the differing opinions on Israel's military response highlight the complex dynamic within Israeli society and among international observers as the conflict continues to unfold. Okay, next we move to point 2, humanitarian impact. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine, particularly in Gaza, has led to catastrophic humanitarian conditions escalating significantly since the Hamas attacks on 7 October 2023, which prompted a surface military response from Israel. Okay, as we know, following the conflict's escalations, Gaza's only power station ceased operations on 11 October, leaving residents with only 3 to 4 hours of electricity per day. Okay, nearly 423,000 Palestinians have been displaced due to ongoing bombardments, with significant damage to housing. Over 2,500 units rendered uninhabitable and an additional 20 to 1,850 damaged. Okay, next point. The humanitarian situation includes a dire food security crisis, with EU and RWA halting food distribution and initial supplies running low. Reports indicate that nearly 500,000 people face catastrophic levels of food insecurity. The international community is increasingly concerned about the humanitarian impact, with organizations like Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International condemn Israel's action as war crimes and calling for its immediate ceasefire to facilitate humanitarian access. Last point, humanitarian impact. Humanitarian organizations stress that without a ceasefire, the humanitarian crisis worsens, leading to greater loss of life and suffering among civilizations trapped in the conflict. Okay, point 3, the international reaction. The conflict between Israel and Hamas has elicited polarized response globally, reflecting geopolitical interests and historical grievance. Next, Latin American countries show a mixed reaction. Mexico and Colombia advocate for peaceful coexistence, while Nicaragua and Venezuela express stronger support for the Palestinian cause. The Arab League and many Arab nations have condemned Israel's action as destabilizing, urging an immediate cessation of military operation in Gaza. Iran has praised Hamas' action as a symbol of resistance. Next point, African nations have varied response, with some condemn Hamas while others criticize Israel military action. There is a growing international consensus on the need for a ceasefire to address escalating violence, with the UN General Assembly advocating for an immediate humanitarian truce to alleviate civilian suffering. Overall, the international response highlights a fragmented landscape where Western nations largely back Israel, while many in the Arab world and beyond advocated for Palestinian rights and the violence. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Last, for the conclusion, the Israel-Palestine conflict is characterized by deep-rooted historical grievance and territorial dispute, which have led to ongoing violence and humanitarian crisis. The conflict escalated significantly on October 7, 2023, when Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel, resulting in over 1,300 Israeli dead and prompting Israel to declare war, marking one of the most severe escalation in decades. Next, the conflict has led to a dire humanitarian situation in Gaza, with over 45,000 Palestinian fatalities reported since the escalation began. The ongoing military action have resulted in widespread destruction of infrastructure and severe humanitarian needs. The conflict elicited polarized responses both domestically within Israel and internationally. Public opinion is divided and geopolitical interests vary significantly among global actors, complicating peace efforts. And last, addressing the social political factors that perpetuate the conflict is essential for any meaningful resolution. There is an urgent need for a comprehensive approach that considers the right and aspiration of both Israelis and Palestinians to alleviate suffering and foster long-term peace. That's all from us. Thank you.